Good morning, folks. This is Patrick, Hobbies and Habits. And what we're looking at here is a model of the Annihilus character from Marvel. I'm sure I said it wrong, but forgive me for that. I don't remember the last video I did on this model. I think I had started some prep work on it, but I am still doing prep work on it as of today. And I want to show you what I've done since the last video. So hold on one moment and I'll be right back. All right, folks, I want to start off with giving you the height of the model as it stands right now. And I'm trying to balance my phone and this yardstick, so please bear with me. All right, I think it's about, I know you can't see it, but I'm in my kitchen and I'm trying not to show all of my kitchen and distract from what I'm doing here. So just take my word for it. It is about 28 inches at the highest point, which is the tip of that wing right there. And that's from the bottom of the base. Now from the foot of the figure, and this is just something I like to do, from the foot of the figure to the top of his head is roughly 13, just over 13 inches. And let me put my yardstick down. And let's take a look at this. If you look right here, I extended the torso by roughly an inch. I felt that the Annihilus character, that model, was too short and compact. So I extended this. As we all know, Carnage is long and lanky. And even though this model is a little bit bulky for Carnage, this is all I had to work with. When I take two, when I look for a model that I can transform or change into the Carnage character, I always try to find one that has something similar to Carnage already, so that way I have to do less modifying to it. But with this one, this was the closest I could find to Carnage and as close as to what I had in mind for what I wanted to do. And let's talk about what I was looking for when I was trying to find a model for this project. I wanted something. Okay, well, this was a bonus. These little insect snake creatures here, that was a bonus because I can change these into the symbiote that we see on a lot of models of Carnage and Venom. So that was a bonus. Now, things I was looking for, I had in mind that I wanted to do a dark Carnage or King Carnage or Devil Carnage, whatever you call that version of Carnage. I was looking for something that had like the boots. Where am I at? There I am. Something that had the boots here. And if you're familiar with that Carnage, the dark Carnage character, you know that he does have some type of costume on. I'm not crazy about Carnage with wearing clothes or anything like that, but I can live with it. Now for this, I wanted the boots. I wanted something here because he has kind of like a partial tunic thing going on right here. So that was fine. That was what I was looking for. Also, he has gauntlets. They don't cover the hand, but I'm going to take care of that part. I'll modify this so that it doesn't look like gloves, but I did want this part of the glove, and that's something else I was looking for. Another thing, what do you call these? Not shoulder pads. I can't remember what these are called. But anyway, I was looking for these things here on I'll just call them shoulder pads for lack of a better term. Let me see. And the wings, that's the biggest thing I was looking for. I don't know if the Dark Carnage character necessarily has wings, but I wanted to find a model with wings. And this is as close as I could get. So this is what I have, folks, and this is what I have to work with. Now the wings, let's talk about this. These wings have been giving me hell. And if you take a close look here, you can see there's a lot of stuff going on here. That's because I've redone these wings about 2, maybe 3 times, I would put on some epoxy clay here, and then it didn't look right. I couldn't get the wings in the right position, so I'd have to scrape all of that away, drill it out, scrape it out, and then apply the epoxy again. I've lost several magnets because they became embedded in the epoxy. And if you know this epoxy, folks, this stuff, once it's hard, it is hard as, I don't know, I want to say cement, maybe not that hard, but it's hard. And so this is the last time I'm going to redo these wings. If they don't come out right this time, oh well, I'll have to live with it. But if you look at it now, there's going to be a lot of, it's not going to be so, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not going to look too smooth back here because there's going to be some areas where I'm not going to mess with it anymore because I've just done this the best I can do with this right here. So let me see what else. Also on the wings, there's going to be some gaps because I want the wings to be detachable. I could fix all of these gaps if I made them permanently attached to the figure, but I don't want to do that. In case I have to store it and ship it, I want these to be able to come off. Now, what I did do was I attached magnets to these, so they will be magnetized, but it just won't be a tight fit right here. I will try to close this up a little bit with some epoxy, and that's going to be it for the wings. It's not going to be pretty, but I'm still learning, folks. In case you're not familiar with the channel or what I'm doing here, is I'm teaching myself to build models, fix models, repair models. Same with statues. Well, I'm not trying to build statues, but I'm trying to teach myself to repair them. So this is all part of my learning process here. Let's see what else. All right, let's go ahead and do a 360 before I forget to do that for y'all. You know what? I want to talk about this while it's on my mind. If you get a look at this, you will notice that he's leaning toward the left side. That is the way the model was designed. I don't like it. So what I'm probably going to do is, if you can look off in here, I'm probably going to raise this leg or this side of the body up so that he stands level. Also, if I do that, that will allow me to add a spike to the back of his boot. I like Carnage with the spike back here. So as it is now, if you can look in there, there's no room for a spike. And it's just so tight, the way this fits onto the base. Also, it will allow me to probably put the claw feet on him. Hold on, let's move him around. Okay, if you can see right down here, again, it's a tight fit. So if I do raise this side of his body, that might allow me to put claws on his foot because I really like the claws. I don't like this shoe look that some artists give Carnage. He should have claws or at least bare feet, not shoes. So hopefully I can raise that up enough to do that with his foot. And speaking of feet, this is his right foot. What I will be doing with this is, again, I will be adding claws and I will be putting the spike back here on the back of his foot. Some problems I'm dealing with now is first, see, you can see it a lot better from the front. See how he's kind of leaning to his left side? I just don't like that. So I have to raise that up. Now, some problems that's going to cause for me is once I raise that side, this side of his body, that's of course going to push the right side of his body more this way. And it's going to push his knee, where am I? There I am. It's going to push this knee right into this thing. This thing is it's so tight. The fit is just so tight, but if necessary, I will have to cut this, probably cut it back here somewhere so I can move this over. And that will allow this leg to move over that way a little more. Now, one thing I don't want to mess up is right here. Probably can't notice it because it's sitting on the base right now, but this foot fits right off into this little groove. It's an imprint of a foot, and it fits in, and it holds this thing in place pretty much, keeps it from moving around, and I like that. I don't want to get rid of that. Now, there is a key on the bottom of this foot. I want to keep that also because that will help stabilize the statue. And I plan on putting a magnet on this foot. Again, just to keep it stable, keep it from moving around. Let's see, what else? All right, let's talk about his torso. If you notice, there's a line coming straight down his body. And it's basically right there where my pointer is. And so my line I put here for the center of his abdomen, it's a little bit off. Hopefully I can correct that when I do the little tunic thing. Hopefully I can fix it with that. If not, I don't know how I will correct that. I might just have to live with it. It's not off by a lot, but just enough to irritate me. We'll see. Okay, let's talk about, oh, and I do have the other shoulder pad. It's just, I don't put it on because, as a matter of fact, let me take this one off. I don't want to accidentally knock it off and break it. And I had to pull those off so I could get to his neck and cut his head off. So that's why you see that big hole. But that's repairable. It's not going to be a problem. Oh, you know, since we're over here, folks, I can't remember the guy who made this, who printed this for me, but I like what he did with this model. That wall right there, it is so thick. And I believe the whole model is like that. It's just really thick and it's tough too. I caught hell trying to break these parts off and I cut my finger up pretty good because this stuff is sharp. I don't know what the thickness is, but I really like this. And this thing doesn't really require resin. I put resin in these to protect them, to keep them from cracking, and plus to give them a little weight. But with this one, this thing is so thick, I don't think this would ever crack under any normal circumstances, but I still want to add weight to it just to give it some, I said that wrong. I still want to add resin to it just to give it a little bit of weight. And in case it does get dropped, that will also help protect it, keep it from getting busted up. Okay, so where was I going? Oh, the head. Again, I had to cut his head off so I could reposition the head. If you notice, it's looking upward now. The original model had it looking more toward the front. I want him looking up. Let's see, what else? Okay, folks, I think that's just about it for now. Now, a couple of things I want to mention before I close this video. I will be adding some horns to his head. I have to do a lot of work on the face and the head because, as we know, Carnage does not look like this. So I'll be putting doing a lot of clay work on the face and head, and also on the neck. I have to fix all of this stuff here that I cut up. I think that's it for now, folks. So if you're interested, make sure you stay tuned, come back, subscribe if you haven't done so, if you want to see how this turns out. As always, thank you for watching the video and thank you for your continued support. And let's see if I can get fancy and rotate him around with my yardstick. Try to get this thumbnail shot. Oh, that's nice right there. I like that. Just wish them wires weren't there. Let's see. All right, folks, I think I can get a good thumbnail out of that. All right, thanks again. Bye. Ooh, hold on. Maybe that will make a good shot right there. No, not with that big hole in the shoulder. All right, let's see now. All right, folks. Bye.